Hi, this is Roy Worley. Welcome to the interview show that brings on guests from all walks of life. Yeah, it's here that they tell their stories and delve a little deeper into their lives to see what got them where they are. So grab a drink, have a seat, and relax, because this is the Leo Effect.
When was the last time a short movie shook your emotions to the core? When was the last time a short movie caused you to rethink everything you stood for? When was the last time a short movie made you proud to be an American? When was the last time you felt the emotion to stand up and cheer after a short movie? The new short movie, I've Got Your Six, written and directed by Bill Foster, one of the industry's newest and fastest climbing directors, will answer all of those questions. Rarely has there been so much packed into a short movie that when you leave, you'll feel more proud of our American military veterans. A movie that was cast only with American military veterans will have you on the edge of your seat, cheering for our veterans and what makes America great. I've Got Your Six will be hitting the film festival scene soon. Be prepared to drop what you're doing and go see this powerful movie when it comes to your area. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another episode of The Leo Effects. Today I'm joined by a very, very special guest. I've been super excited to talk to him, and here he is to talk to you and myself and answer a few of our hard-hitting questions like we do. Please allow me to introduce to you Mr. Jason Simpson. How are you, sir?
I'm doing very well, Ray. Thank you so much for having me on. This is a great pleasure and an honor to be here, so my thanks to you.
Absolutely. So I think the first thing that we should kind of establish and roll into here would be to let the listeners know maybe what you kind of feel you might be most known for, or what your more predominant roles might be.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, the Dragon Prince is something that I was very fortunate to be a part of, and that's exploded. We have a gigantic fan base, and they are amazing people. It's such an honor to be a part of that group and to chat with them whenever I can. So Lord Viren, of course, is probably my most well-known character. He is very popular, but also very unpopular at the same time. So that tells me I'm doing my job correctly.
Exactly.
Rengar from League of Legends. League of Legends is a tiny, tiny little online game that millions of people play.
Yeah.
So it was a great pleasure to play that character. I love that character. Big and ferocious, and just allowed me to really exercise a lot of those deeper, more guttural acting chops.
Mm-hmm.
Some turns on My Little Pony, which is, of course, is also quite a huge property. People love that, and I get to meet some of the sweetest people at conventions when we talk about My Little Pony. I think those are some of the bigger ones, and the rest of my career has been really a Vancouver actor, which is I go where the work is, and I do the work that comes my way, and you hustle, and you work on commercials, you work on video games, you work on cartoons, you go to bed, rinse, repeat. You just keep doing whatever work comes your way. And of course, we have to have, as artists, we have integrity, and we can choose the work that sometimes that we want to do.
Mm-hmm.
It's more we can choose the work that we don't want to do. So it's easier to say, I don't want to do that. No one's really knocking down everyone's door saying, hey, please tell us what you want to work on and we'll make that happen. That's just not how it goes. We're all working actors who audition, and sometimes we book a gig and we do that work, and then a new day and we do the exact same thing. And that's really part of the joy of it. There's anxiety there. You're not sure what you're going to be working on, but every once in a while you book something that is bigger and has more of an impact. I don't want to say socially, because that sounds a little too grand, but a show like The Dragon Prince really brings a lot of people together.
Yeah.
And so, yes, I'm very, very fortunate to work with those creators and work with my incredible fellow actors and the writing team and the amazing, lovely, beautiful people at Bardell who did all the animation. So that's kind of where I'm at right now.
Yeah, fantastic. That's awesome. And you really do. You have a long, long list on IMDb, and you even said you had some stuff that's not on there, and I'd like to kind of touch on that in a little bit. But
Sure.
my question to you would be like, what made you decide to become an actor in the first place?
A couple things. And I've told this story a number of times before, so I'll try and keep it fairly brief. When I was 6, I was watching a movie with my dad. It was I think it was Frankenstein. As I get older, these memories start to disappear, and I feel like I'm making stuff up. But I do believe it was Frankenstein, and I was pretty terrified. I was 6 years old, but my dad just had this little shot of wisdom, and he said, "Well, this guy's in makeup, and there's a guy with a camera, and there's a guy," and he kind of broke it down for me, and I realized at that moment, oh, I want to be that guy in makeup who's doing all those funny noises. So I kind of knew from 6 that I wanted to be an actor. I didn't know what it was exactly. I didn't have much information on it.
Mm-hmm.
And then in '84, I was 9 years old, and I saw Optimus Prime for the first time, and that solidified it for me. I said, I want to be that guy. I want to do that voice. I want to be that hero. I want to just do that. And so that pushed me through the years to get to where I am now. So I just wanted to be an actor. I knew that's what I wanted to do. I went through school. I went through university. I want to act. I don't care about anything else. And that's usually what I tell all my students. If you want to do it, you can do it.
Yeah.
You have to hustle. There's work, and there's patience, and there's blood, sweat, and tears, as they say. But you have to hustle, 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 and you can make it happen. So here I am. Yeah.
Would you say then that your dad was probably your inspiration for getting into this, or that Frankenstein was your inspiration?
No, I always credit my dad. Absolutely. And my dad's the kind of guy, I love him dearly, and I've said this to his face. He's the kind of guy who likes to just sort of check his brain at the door when he watches a movie. That's where my love for really bad 80s movies come from. The writing's terrible. I have such a love for those genres, and horror movies. They're just my favorites because my dad and I would watch those. And he had this moment of inspiration where he was able to break it down for me. So I absolutely credit my dad for putting me on that path. Yeah, 100%.
Nice. That's fantastic. And when you started getting into the acting and saying like, this is it, I'm going to college for this, I'm learning, did you have a lot of support with that from your dad?
Nothing but support from my parents. Yeah.
Awesome.
Well, yeah, my parents could see firsthand how terrible I was at math and science and biology and how I excelled in the arts. So they knew this was my passion, and this was really the only thing I was interested in doing. So yeah, they definitely encouraged me.
Right on. It's always good to have a support system like that.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So kind of delving into your career a little bit, especially as a voice actor, like how do you come up with your character voices?
Oh, wow, that's a really great question. It's a lot of annoying. Now, it's funny. It's funny talking about my parents and how they supported me. It's countless times where my parents would say to me, "Would you please be quiet, go to bed, or would you please not do that at the dinner table?" Because it was me, they're doing funny voices. What do you think of this one, Mommy? And they laughed for a little bit, and then after a while, it was just shut up, okay, and do your work. So it's years of just stuff pops in your head, and just practicing, exploring what your voice does, and you don't even really think about it. When I say you, I mean I should speak specifically for myself. I never really thought about it. I just did it, and I knew when I was younger I wanted to have a deeper voice. I knew I wanted to be Optimus Prime one day. So as a young adult, I just kept doing exercises. I kept pushing that lower end. And, 20 years later, it's a muscle. You can develop it. There's many muscles in there, of course.
Right.
I've managed to, get my voice lower. I've broadened my range. And you just, along the way, in the past 20 years, I know all these different opportunities that come, all these different characters that people are coming up with that require different voices. So it's inherent in the actor to explore those different voice prints, character voices. Yeah.
Yeah, I can buy that. And since you can do so many different voices, is there one that you prefer more than the others? Like that you prefer that deep Optimus Prime-y voice?
Yeah, I really do. I really do like that a lot. it's funny, just starting in commercials 20 years ago, I thought I'm going to be that big time, hard sell Sunday kind of commercial voice. But the studio where I really got my start, they took me under their wing, and I booked a ton of stuff with them. They booked me as this sort of regular guy, kind of this up here, friendly next door neighbor, selling McDonald's or whatever it was. And I just did dozens of those commercials as that guy. So it's very interesting how I really thought I was going one way, and the industry said, no, we like you here. So as far as animation and video games go, I definitely love sitting in the lower register. I'm not near as low as I'd like to get, so it's still constant working on it. But I love the monsters. I love the deep guttural, slobbery orc kind of stuff. I love playing the villains. I mean, Viren is he's just my voice, but he speaks clear. He has better diction, and it's just dropped down a little bit down in there. So it's not a whole lot different than me.
Yeah.
But he's a different person. I mean, the way he talks is different. I ramble and I sputter and I breathe heavy. He's a lot more clearer and refined when he speaks. Except when he gets a little more excited, then it gets a little higher, and then it becomes a little more like me.
Yeah.
Barius the baker, that's more of kind of what I like to do when he's down in here. I love making jelly tarts. I could live in that voice all day long.
Right. And Barry the Baker, he was such an underrated character. He played such an important part that I don't think people really understood.
I agree. Let's start a campaign.
Absolutely. Barry gets his own spin-off episodes.
Yes, I love that idea. I love it.
Oh, man. So, kind of talking on everything that you've done, from commercials to animation and video games and just everything you've done, do you prefer one of those over the other, or do you just kind of go with the flow and you'll take whatever you can get kind of thing?
Well, it's kind of both. If I could just go into the studio every day and work on a cartoon, I would be happy.
All right.
Or cartoons, multiple cartoons. Who doesn't want to work on more cartoons? But at the same time, I am excited to book a commercial because I know what it takes to book that. I know there's often dozens of people who audition for it. I know I know who the talent pool is. These are all my friends. These are guys I see in the studio, and we immediately start chatting about life and about kids, and not about the work. It's often not hey, what have you been working on lately? Because we don't care. We care about each other as people. And I mean, that's me talking with guys who I've been working with for 20 years. But I know what it's like I know those guys and their talent. So it's difficult. If I want to book something, I've got to do my best. I've got to put my best foot forward. And it's very often not about who's better. It's really about who did they like? Whose tone did they like? Whose humor came through a little. So it's not really about, oh, you have a better voice. It's really about just in that particular moment, what did they like better? What suited the spot better? So there's competition, sure, but it's never really an outright, oh, I'm better than this guy sort of competition. So to recognize that is important, because if a person doesn't, they're gonna burn themselves out just worrying about everybody else's work and worrying about who's working on what. And I'm a very anxious person. I spent many years dealing with that feeling of, I must be a terrible actor because I'm not booking anything. Everybody else must be way better than me. And it's just not the case. It's a case by case scenario for every spot you're doing. But I know that I'm a good actor, and I know I've got lots of skill. I've got lots of talent, and I have lots of knowledge. That serves me every audition. Doesn't mean I'm going to get every audition, because somebody else might just have that thing that they're looking for. And you have to understand that right off the bat.
Yeah. And is it strange to hear your voice coming? Like, if you sat down and watched The Dragon Prince, is it weird hearing Viren speak and being like, oh, that's me?
No, years ago it did. Years ago, for sure. That was an exciting thrill. It's still a thrill. Because I remember the moments, I remember recording, I remember situations, being in the studio when a certain line was said. So that's fun. But I have a very difficult time watching myself on film. because there is no hiding me. And I don't like looking at me. There's lots of me I don't like. So from top to bottom, I can see myself on film and I just cringe. Why did I walk that way? How come my butt's so big? Why am I so bald? You know, and I just pick myself apart. So I do have an issue with that. But voice, no, I listen to myself critically, but it's, my voice and my body in voice work, it's a tool. And I enjoy listening to what I produce, what I come up with. So, and yeah, of course I can learn from it, but I'm past the so exciting stage.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Have you done any conventions or like autograph signings or anything like that?
Sure. Yeah, you bet.
Cool. And have you had people come up to you as your character?
Many. Yeah. Lots of Virans, lots of Rengars, no My Little Pony cosplayers, but they, there's big fans of the show. So they know, some of them know all the lines. It's crazy. I just love going to conventions. It literally is, Ray, one of my favorite parts of my job is seeing how what I've done, what our group has done, whatever show we're representing, affects individuals' lives and how they come up and tell me stories about how they were down or they just needed encouragement and they watched our show and it just gave them something. That's amazing to me. So I feel very fortunate to meet those people. And when they spend the time putting together it's stunning cosplays of my character, and you can see them just proud of their achievement, that makes me super proud. And I'm so happy to meet them and sign things for them and whatever we need to do. It's a great pleasure for me.
Yeah, it's always great to have awesome fans like that. Was that kind of weird at first, like the first convention you ever did, and you see people coming up dressed as your character?
100% blew my mind. Yeah. We were at WonderCon in Anaheim last year, and it was I don't know. There's like was it 1,000 people or something in the room? Mm-hmm. I can't recall exactly, but I looked out and I'm like, what? Who are all these people? What are they doing here? And we came out and it was just this thunderous roar, and it hits you like, wow, they just love our show so much, and we mean something to them. So it's our job to make sure. It's my job, I feel, to make sure that I represent the show well, represent myself, and do my best to be as respectful and courteous and just be a nice human being to these people who love our work. So, because we kind of become one community.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Right on. Earlier, we had kind of talked a little bit about some stuff that was not necessarily on your IMDb. And so I was kind of wondering, in a conjoined question, is if you wanted to talk about those particular things, and possibly if you had anything that you're able to talk about that's kind of in the works or that people should kind of watch out for.
Okay. I do have some things in the works, thankfully, that I will be able to talk about soon, but I don't have anything at the moment that I can talk about.
Okay.
There's always lots of NDAs and stuff like that.
Absolutely.
Stuff that isn't on IMDb, that there would be mostly video games. But I can't. There's a number of them that I can't actually talk about at the moment.
Oh, okay, that's fair.
Yeah. I'm just thinking ahead now.
Okay.
Thinking back to what I said, and then I kind of set up the question, and then realized I can't talk about that stuff.
That's okay. That's all right. I completely understand. NDAs get in the way of everything.
Yes. Yeah. Which is fine because we're waiting for things to be just right, and then they release them, and then we can talk about them.
Absolutely. But it's always the bane of a good interview.
Yes, yeah. Especially when I say, hey, there's stuff here that we can talk about, and then I realize, oh, no, I can't do that. So, my apologies.
Nope, completely fine. Well, since we can't talk about that, maybe we can talk about you on a little bit more, not necessarily personal note, but, let the fans maybe get to know some stuff about you that they might not know otherwise. Such as, like, between all this work that you've got going on, do you have time for hobbies?
Yes, I do. I love sculpting. I don't do near enough of that. I used to do a great deal of it, but I would love to get back into it.
Like
Um,
like pottery or
no,
statuettes or
yeah, busts and anything that's. I work in Sculpey, Super Sculpey, so it's a form of a polymer clay that you can sculpt and then bake
oh,
for a
okay.
short time. Yeah, so I make those, and I've done them for years, and I sell them online at on Etsy, and they're just that's a fun little hobby. But I definitely want to get back into it because I miss that outlet.
Mhm.
I love drawing. I've been drawing for since I was a child, and now Procreate on my iPad. It just opens up a whole world of stuff. You know what it actually does though? It shows me how much I have to learn. Because I'll draw something and then I'll look online on Twitter, which is uh, a wonderful source of incredible art that people are making, and I realize, oh yeah, I've got a lot to learn about technique and shading and color, but it's always the challenge. How do I improve? So
Mhm.
keep doing that. What else? At the moment I'm working on a poetry project.
Oh.
It sort of started with the social distancing and isolation. I just put out a shout out on my socials to folks saying, send me your poetry, whether you're a poet or not, and I will read them and record them and then put them out for people to hear. So I'm still working on that. I'm almost finished, and I can't wait for people to hear the work that these folks have, poured their hearts into some poetry and sent it to me. So hopefully I do it justice, and I'm looking forward to hearing people's thoughts on it.
That would be so fantastic. Like
Yeah,
I think I would really like to hear that. That's cool.
yeah. So stay tuned. That's coming.
Fantastic. And
Yeah.
do you have like a favorite kind of food or a particular restaurant that you like to frequent? I guess before we all got sequestered away.
Yeah. I mean, we've got a couple favorites. I love a good Mexican restaurant. It's so fun to go. My son is 12, and he can eat hot sauce like it's water. So it's. I used to be that way. My old body says no, thank you now, so I can't do it anymore. But you know what? I'm a meat and potatoes kind of guy. I love a good steak and potatoes. I'm pretty simple that way. Um,
Nice.
but I have some certain guidelines when I eat certain foods. Chips, love chips. Oh, Ray, I love chips so much. But I need to have milk when I eat chips,
Okay.
and pizza, gotta have milk. So I mean, I'll drink other things, but if I have my druthers, those are milk meals.
Okay.
Any other specifics? No, I pretty much eat just everything, and unfortunately,
I can relate. I feel
uh,
you.
yeah,
Do you have any special talents that maybe people don't know about?
zero.
Zero. Okay.
That people don't know about. Yeah, I'm sure I do. Nothing worth bragging about.
Okay.
Um, yeah, that's a good question.
So you're not like double jointed or you can lick your own elbow or something like that.
I cannot lick my own elbow. Darn it!
Dang. Of all the
wish.
things I wish I could do.
Yeah, I wish I could do that. I may, but I'm a pretty boring person, actually.
Oh, definitely not that. What about pet peeves? Do you have any little pet peeves that things just kind of annoy you?
Oh, the older I get, they increase by the hundreds.
Coming in droves.
I'm just Grandpa Simpson, screaming at the cloud in the sky.
Yeah, yeah.
Pet peeves, loud chewing.
Aha! Misophonia.
Oh, is that what it is?
That's what it's called.
It doesn't-
Chewing, ticking, like tapping, things like that annoy you. It's
It doesn't-
audible.
Well, it doesn't. It doesn't give me the heebie-jeebies.
Right.
I find it just rude and gross.
Aha. Okay.
So having two teenagers almost in my house. Yeah, I got it as a kid as well. I'm a drummer, so I tap all the time. All the time I'm tapping, and my dad would constantly at the dinner table say, "Stop it! Stop tapping. Because I would tap on the floor. I would tap on my plate. I would use my utensils. And I could see how that annoyed him, because when my kids are sitting at the table, chewing with their mouths open.
Yeah.
Yeah, stop doing that.
Brilliant.
I like this. I like this section. This is me being able to complain and vent. You know what really bugs me, Ray?
What's that?
Is when people pull in front of me on the highway just to slow down. I mean, just stay behind me, you know?
Yeah.
And do people not have working blinkers in their cars? Use your blinkers, people. It's a simple movement. I got tons of stuff. Yeah. Wow.
You really do sound like Grandpa Simpson.
I'm just a grumpy old fart. Wow.
I love it though. That's awesome. It lets people know that we're not alone out there.
Right. Yeah. I imagine there's other grumpy people out there with pet peeves for sure.
No, for sure.
Oh, people who don't pick up their dog poo.
Oh man, why wouldn't you do that?
Why?
That's just disrespectful.
Exactly. Why? I was a dog owner for almost 15 years, and I so much as picked up dog poo in the park with my bare hand, because I didn't have a bag. I didn't have a Kleenex, nothing.
You are a brave soul, but I understand.
I couldn't do that with someone else's dog. I have this thing, even use. Wow, this is a weird. Wow, this took quite a turn. I can't go near other people's dogs, messes. My own dogs, no problem. I can do it with my bare hand. But someone else's dog, even with a bag, no, it gives me the heaves. So.
Wow. All right. Yeah. See, there we go. Something that people would not know about you.
Yeah. That's fantastic. Wow.
I guess my final question that I have for you, this is also kind of an opinion of your own, is what advice would you have for somebody who's just starting out in the acting world?
Yeah, well, I mean, I said it a little bit of it earlier, and there's a couple different things. Keep pursuing it. It gets hard, and it feels like it gets harder, and it might for you, but you've got to keep going. No one's going to put things in your way, meaning no one's going to throw opportunities in front of you.
Mm-hmm.
For some people, they might. You might get that opportunity, but do not count on it. You've got to keep hustling and just know that it gets better. And sometimes you feel like it plateaus. Sometimes you feel like it gets worse, and maybe it does. But you've got to maintain. You got to keep your head above the water and keep pushing forward, because that's the only way you're gonna get better at your job, at your skills. People will notice eventually, and people will want to work with you. You've just got to keep hustling. Okay. Secondly, do not be so hard on yourself. I have the life experience of going through that, just being terribly hard on myself, thinking I was not very good because jobs weren't coming my way.
Okay.
You've got to have faith that what you're doing is right, and if you think if you think you're not doing something correctly, start taking classes, get some stuff figured out, talk to professionals, and then keep moving forward, because you're not as bad as you think you are if you're putting that work in, and you got people around you who are encouraging you and pushing you forward. It's just the idea of not working and not being accepted makes you feel like you're terrible, and it's just not the case.
Awesome. That's some fantastic advice right there. I like it. I like it a lot.
Personal experience, unfortunately, but fortunately.
Yeah. I mean, it's our experiences that make us who we are.
Yeah.
So in this last little part of the show here, I like to do a little shameless self-promotion, and if you would like to, you can tell all the listeners all your different social medias and what they can type in to follow along with you.
Sure. Prepare to be extremely underwhelmed when you visit my social medias. I just post a lot of bad jokes, and I enjoy that. So on Twitter, I am at @aboy Simpson, and on Instagram, I am Simpstagrams. So SIMPSTAGRAMS. It's just a lot of me posting pictures of myself, maybe some food, but mostly just myself. Yeah, you'll get the idea once you get on there. You just scroll through and go, oh, I see. Oh, it's just basically him in front of a microphone. Okay, I get the drift.
There's always a glass of milk in the background. What is
the worst thing to drink as a voice actor? But seriously though, go to those. I'm not encouraging you to follow me, but keep an eye out on those, because I will be posting a link to this poetry project soon, and I would love for people to go and check it out, because there's just some really great work that people sent in, and I'm proud of being able to work with these folks on this stuff. So I want people to hear it.
Yeah, that'd be fantastic. And I'm going to put links to your social media in the description of the podcast episode, so everybody make sure to check that out for sure. So awesome. Jason, I just want to say thank you so very, very much for coming on the show. I know it's been a long time coming, but I was so happy to have you here. You've been an amazing guest. I've had so much fun talking to you.
Well, thanks, Ray. That I feel likewise. It's always an honor to be invited to speak about my work and myself, and it's a great honor to speak with you. So thank you for having me.
Oh, thank you. So one final, just teensy question, and you can just say, yes or no. Doesn't really matter.
Okay.
But this is like I'm curious about your thoughts on this, because after all, it is you, Lord Viren, evil or misunderstood?
Very, very flawed human being who has some evil tendencies, which we as humans do. I make no judgment of him, and I make no excuses for him. He's made some horrible, horrible choices. He's also been influenced quite strongly. Exactly. And I don't want to say too much for people who haven't listened or watched the show, under some very strong influence, simply because he wants that power. So would I call him an evil entity? No. But there are people in our world, real human people, who are drawn to evil deeds. And I don't think Viren has necessarily started out that badly. But boy, he makes some choices, man. That
spoiler alert.
that we can't, that no one can justify. So,
right.
Is he misunderstood? No, I think people understand him pretty well. But you can't just say. I'm always against people saying just blanket. He's just a bad guy. There's so much more. There's so much more to him. It's just unfair to any character to say this person is this. So
for sure. That's
my two cents on that.
Perfect. Well, again, thank you so much for coming on the show. And thank you to all the listeners who tuned in. Make sure to click the links to go to Jason's social medias. You're definitely going to want to follow along. We got this poetry slam, I guess. That'd be the best way to do it. That you're gonna want to check out. It's gonna be awesome. And make sure to keep on that IMDb, because apparently there's some secret stuff coming out soon. But we will see you all next time. Oh, now that was an awesome interview. Thanks so much for listening. You all are so great. And don't forget to head to Facebook, Insta, and Twitter and follow The Leo Effects. If you want to hear some comedy and ridiculous voices, check out Shattered Dungeons on YouTube and all other places podcasts can be heard. And you'll hear me voicing crazy characters, usually pretty terribly. So thank you so much. You all are the absolute best. And we will see you all on the next episode.